This is Tim Campbell from Visceral Decay, Wartoke, and Fairhaven, and you're experiencing Poppitt's Corner.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Poppitt's Corner. I'm thoroughly excited, as always, to be doing these. It's been a quick minute. I almost said win it.
I thought you were going to say winter.
Winter, yeah, winter.
Is it winter? No, it's almost summer.
I don't like to date these things, but I almost screwed
It
up the
will be
word
summer.
fucking minute. But I got Mr. DJ Gunderson on with me today. DJ, how you doing, man? I appreciate a moment of your time.
Dude, thank you so much for having me on. We're going to have a blast, dude. It's been
I can't even
way
remember.
too long. I was going to trip over my words too, but it's been way too long, man. Hope you're doing well. You look well.
Thank you. You
Look
too.
like you've been hitting the gym a little bit.
The gym. If the gym consists of going up and downstairs all day at work, then yes, you are right.
That would be the stairs. You're the stairmaster, dude.
The stairmaster. That's right. But I've been doing well, dude. A lot has been going on. So it's just
I can only imagine, man.
mentally, physically, spiritually,
Spiritually.
not just with me, but with the whole world.
Do you mind
seems.
delving into that a little bit? That kind of piques my interest.
Spiritually?
Yeah, what's been going on spiritually with you?
You know, I've been kind of finding myself more and more each day. Like, I think the last time we spoke, I mean, a completely different person even now. That was only like what, last year? The year?
Hasn't been that long, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, within the past.
Change, man.
Changes is always hard, but it's necessary, and that's what the bitch of it all is that you have to.
You can always count on life to change. It's always going to change.
It's always going to.
But when you change for the better or a natural evolution, it's sometimes you hit a wall. I'm not saying you did, but sometimes you got to just look in the mirror, say this is working or it's not working, throw everything out or do something a little different to get a little different reaction or different result, right? That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over, expecting a different result. Like, oh, I'm so depressed. Well, have you tried going to bed a little earlier? No. Have you tried, like, being happy? No, I didn't think of that. I don't know. Those are terrible examples. But it's the idea of trying something different. So not to cut you off, but, like, so what's been going on, like, I guess I'll ask the same question. Spiritually, I want to know a little more about what you mean by that.
Spiritually, so I've been getting in touch with who I am as an individual, rather than me
Good.
pretending. I feel like maybe because I do a podcast, so it's always this.
You playing a persona or something?
Yeah, and I'm trying not to.
Do you lose who you were? Kind of Tanner, like who is Tanner Poppitt? Like get rid of the music, get rid of the podcast, get rid of the art, get rid of the documentary, get rid of whatever else you do. Like who are you at your core? What do you like? I had to go through that.
And I feel like you opened that door for me, just in terms of I didn't even think about it. It
Well,
was
I
always going
appreciate
through and not because you're here. It's just that's the truth. And I'm finding myself. It's hard for me to lie. Like I don't have a filter.
That's a good quality to have.
I don't have a filter. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, good or bad.
I appreciate you for it. That's why we're friends, to be honest. You can be real. You could tell me. We don't have to agree on anything, but if you're real,
Oh, we agree on a lot.
We
dude.
sure do, but you know what I mean. Like I respect someone that can just give me your honest opinion, even if you think I'm gonna hate it. Like I take that to heart. Honestly, tell me how you disagree with me. But no, but continue on. You can't lie. You can't maybe you can't say, oh yeah, honey, you don't look like a beached whale in that dress. Like, are you saying stuff like that? Those little white lies.
Well, like, it's hard for me to even do that anymore.
Okay.
I'm at the point now of I'm just gonna let it roll and just see what happens, rather than like having this notion of, oh, is this person going to like me or think I'm this? Like, I don't care about that as much as I did even a year ago. So I think I'm slowly getting closer to becoming that person of just not caring at all what the world thinks. And a big eye-opening experience for me was just watching the world change, and nothing matters. Like, nothing that I thought was a big deal. It turns out it's not a big deal.
Or certain things that didn't seem to be a big deal actually are a big deal.
Right. So one example is there was a time when I literally was striving to be like a big band. Now, none of that matters. And all I was left with was these 10 or so releases that I've done. And which got me thinking, I'm like, wow, you know what? Like, whatever I thought in the past, whatever goals I wanted to achieve, maybe I didn't achieve the top tier.
Like the degree of it, but you still achieved
I did.
more than most people could ever imagine. And you have to give yourself credit for it. Maybe that hit at some point
Yes.
for you. Did it?
Yes. And the other thing was, I asked myself this question, and I wrote some stuff down in my, because I do actually write poetry.
That's good.
Just to fucking write.
It's good to get those out, man.
Creativity is, I can't.
It's like anger. When you have anger bottled up, it just comes out. Like, you got to write those good thoughts out, because it will bottle up and you'll feel like I have so much in there that's just getting lost. It needs to just get out. You'll feel better and you'll actually start like writing some good stuff. I'm sure you got some good nuggets in there.
And I asked myself this question is, if I started the band today, would I have achieved all that I would have in the next 15 years? The answer is no. There's no quote unquote scene. There wasn't even back then. I realize this now, looking back again, doing these live releases really brought me to that. Maybe that's what brought it for me home as well. Doing the live releases, going back into the archives, and really finding who I was and who I am now. It's a strange paradigm, I would say, or paradox, whatever the word is.
Conundrum.
Yes.
Maybe.
It was just weird to know, like, at this time, I remember everything that I thought at that time, what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and I became somebody completely different for the better, mind you. I feel I'm a better individual now than I was back in 2007, 2008. I'm not as cocky as I was. I'm not as, I guess, ignorant as I was would be the correct word here. But yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, could I have done all those records, all that touring, all those shows, met all those cool people in this time span? Meaning, if I started in this year for the next 15 years, the answer would have been no. Nothing matters. It's clearly post-pandemic, nothing matters. Everybody's starting from scratch, and that really fucked me up, mentally speaking of...
I think, and everyone shares that too. Everyone went to ground zero. We're starting over the new normal, so to speak, you know. But I would say also that me, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. You know, everything happens for a reason. That's an overplayed cliche, but really, like, we wouldn't be sitting in this exact spot right now had everything not gone exactly the way we did them, if that makes sense. You know, we stopped talking for like 15 years, and then one phone call, and boom, we're doing stuff. Things are happening.
We also grew up a little bit more and grew with our own experiences to get to this place in time. And we had each of us have had different experiences, but we learned some of the same lessons. I feel I could be completely wrong, but for me personally, I learned a lot on what to do and what not to do, and who I wanted to surround myself with, the kinds of people that I didn't want to be associated with.
It's tough too, especially the older we get, and there's some people that are still involved in the same BS, and they're like, "All right, like when can we hang out and get a workout in?" And you're like, "Dude, like I don't know if you're gonna like be able to even stay out of jail let alone like I don't know if you're gonna be hammered on drugs, on this and that. Like it gets to a point where I'm not like I don't have to hang out with this person, you know? Like it's on me now because they can affect my life, and that's not the energy I want anymore. I want people that are productive, doing things. It doesn't mean all business, no fun, no play, no fun, no play, but I am attracted to people that are trying to better themselves and have like where's our win for humanity? Like I'm trying to think like how have I won for humanity? I need my win. I want to have a victory for humanity. So I think like that starts with finding out who you are as a person, find your purpose, your meaning, and once you do that, and that could start easily. It could start with just taking a shower, brushing your teeth, get a job. Once you have those things in place, life kind of gets a little like more enjoyable, I would say.
I think what you're trying to get to is having a purpose. Because a job for me is having a purpose.
Right.
You go to a place where you may or may not.
You affect people if you don't show up. If you don't call someone, like that affects someone's day. And when you're younger, we were like 18, 19, 20, you don't care about blowing off work. I did no call, no show for like a week. And it showed up and they're like, "Oh, we were like just concerned if you were alive." Like, "Oh, I guess I didn't think of that as a 19-year-old." Didn't care.
And I think at that time, you feel like it's just you versus the world. And I think when you get closer to becoming part of the world, that your mindset changes. It's really strange. I don't know how to explain it to people, but I feel like the longer that I've lived, I've achieved my goals closer and closer and closer. Not every single one, but a majority of them I have. And it's like, what's
you
next?
Have goals too. Some people don't even have goals. Like,
but then it's like,
but you could think about it as, okay, let me just get to the next day. Let me get to the next day and not be hungover. Like, let me get to the next day and feel good, and then progress off after that. So
one regimen that I've completely changed out of my diet. I think diet is a huge factor in mental health and just for me speaking, I don't eat a lot of fast food.
Even
anymore.
Just drinking water too. That's a big one.
Well, I mean, I've done that every day.
Because it's like 70-80% of your body. But yeah, your food, your diet. I mean, you could work out all you want and have a crap diet. You're not going to get anywhere.
I've drinking more tea. Every day I drink a cup of tea.
You think the diet and that type of stuff is helping the mental health? I want to go into that a little bit, what you just said.
And that plays into the part of me finding myself spiritually. Like,
okay.
I don't drink as much alcohol as I did. Maybe once in a blue moon. No pun intended. But
blue moon's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't drank in a while either.
So my regimen has changed a little bit. It's like I make a pot of tea, boil the water. That whole, I guess, journey of boiling the water, letting it wait, pouring in the cup, getting the tea ready, waiting for the tea to strain or whatever.
Do you do you grow plants? Sounds like that would be something you would enjoy. You could have like a little garden. It seems like you like to create like even that little process.
Yeah, I love the process of things now. I enjoy the process more than the actual result. They always say the chase is better than the catch, and now I'm finally realizing what that means. It's the overall process of creating things and knowing that it's going to exist in some fashion, just like
Now it's a 20-foot tree. Okay, well, now what? Now we got to put another little seed in the ground.
Right. And the more albums I did, it was kind of growing into that. Whereas, it's another record. Okay, that's done. Now I could do another thing, another this, another that. But I think me having a regimen, I think that's what it is, like a whole process or whatever. Instead of me coming home,
you have a system,
downing a beer or whatever, feeling like shit afterwards.
Well, then you eat something bad after the drinking. It's a total routine, and you have to. It's just like for people that are smoking cigarettes or whatever. You're addicted to your hand literally coming up, and it's then you got to break that. So what do? You got to take like some nicotine gum for a week. Okay, you're still addicted to nicotine. The next part is actually chewing gum to get rid of that oral fixation, and then you'll stop doing the gum. It is that easy to quit cigarettes. It takes about a week for each part, and it's tough. It's a tough discipline to have, but you have to outsmart yourself.
And that's what it is too. It's hard for me to even say this, which I freely admit, the whole porn thing. It's hard for me to get off of that. It really is. And I know. I mean, dude, it's a huge industry. It's. But the more that I was watching it,
well, it's designed for you to like it. And,
yes, I know.
And for it to be easy.
But getting off of it is a bitch. No pun intended either. But it's not easy, and I think it's an addiction, just like everything.
I was just
everything
thinking,
else.
It is, and it's funny that you brought that up because I sometimes on the radio I'll randomly listen to there's like a Catholic pastor or maybe he's Christian, but it's interesting to hear their takes on when people call in. And one guy, he's like, I'm 55 years old and I'm addicted to porn. I'll stop for a few months or whatever, and then I'm addicted. He's like I think he even asked like, am I gonna go to hell or like what do I do? And the pastor is very calm and said, a lot of people struggle with this, and I'll be praying for you, and you're not the only one out there that's like that. And you don't do it for a day, fantastic, but don't beat yourself up. You got to just continue on with those victories. I thought that was fascinating to hear on the radio. And that guy, I was like, wow, could you imagine being the guy on the calling into a radio station and saying that problem? So even you discussing it too, it's there's some freedom being able to talk about those things. Well, and not everyone's able to talk about that.
There's also freedom, again, maybe because I'm at a point of just I don't care. I don't care anymore.
There's a difference of I don't care, and the room's a mess and you're a hoarder and you look terrible, but you know what I mean. But I understand what you're saying, because you're for me, I still care about. I don't care if people don't like how I look, but I care about looking good or presenting myself to others. I don't care if, you know what I mean? I want to look good because that's what makes me feel good or something like that. I don't care if people are like, oh, look at his shoes today. No, I like those shoes. That's why I wore them. It doesn't matter if you don't like them, but
I'm not afraid. I think afraid is the correct verbiage here. I'm just not afraid to say it anymore. I'm only human, just like everyone else. I try not to even speak rapidly anymore. I try to slow down, and that's been really kind of beneficial too, is slowing down, really adjusting, because I always felt like my brain works slower than my mouth moves. So it's
okay. So you do need a little bit of a filter, I think.
Well,
you're sort of saying
not a filter, just being able to freely speak my mind with what I actually want to say, rather than having word salad just spew out all the time. Because even going back to some of my older episodes where I was really a lot of energy, man. I mean, a lot. I was going for the throat. I can feel it, and it's not a bad thing. That's just where I came from and who I am
and
now.
You had to do that to get to where you are now too. So you gotta screw up. I mean, the best baseball players, they're successful 30% of the time. So there's no other aspect of life you can fail 70% of the time and be considered the top 1% of what you do. So I mean, life's all about failure. How we come back from it. I mean, the approach to dating is the same way. I like to think of it as, have you ever gone to the casino and played the penny slots?
Mm-hmm.
Do you bring 1 penny? You bring rolls and that's dating, my friend. You gotta talk to how many people to get one date. That's the thing. How many pennies you got to put in to get that big that payout. So that's the idea. It's like you can't just get one no. You know, it's like in Tommy Boy, and was like, oh, he wants the brake pads. No, I'm good. Oh, okay. Oh, you remember that part? Oh, okay. No, you gotta chicken wings.
Yeah. Chicken wings.
Remember that? Tommy want wingies.
Yeah, it's just really interesting on where I've been, and of course I want to get to where you've been, and I know you're doing a podcast with our buddy AC and whatnot, which
Not to be confused with AC Slater, but yes, AC DJ.
AC DJ.
I gotta show you the new logo. It's awesome.
Yeah, I gotta. So, okay, so I wrote this. I don't know which one should I write, or which one should I? Okay, here's a good one. So I wrote this back in January, right, of this year.
You dated it.
Yeah, I date all my
Nice.
my.
See
I
where
wouldn't- I wouldn't
your
call 'em-
mind's kind of. It's almost like a diary. I'll let you speak. I'll shut up.
Well,
for
it's
minute.
not a diary. I mean, diary ensues that like I have a pink notebook and I just get
You don't have one of those,
a pink notebook. No.
and you put like little girly glasses
No,
on.
no. That
Come on, man.
a diary implies it's like you're a 14-year-old chick at summer camp writing your
A lot
your
of
diary.
gossip.
So
All my crushes are in there.
I guess, you know what? I guess it's some sort of a man diary, or I call it a journal. It's just me writing, or I don't think. Anyway, point is, so this is what I wrote. You ready for this?
I'm
Let's
ready.
get your take on it. The title of this is "Trust the Energy Around You." Make no mistake, you are power that cannot be taken, but explored. Harness this exploration and do not fear it. Your inner self knows what will happen. Trust it. Trust the energy within yourself and all around you. While others stumble, you will stand tall. Your power will be the reason for why you will stand out in a sea of cowards. Listen to your energy, and your mind will be at peace with the soul. Grasp this and do not give up on you. Watch where your energy goes and watch what it does for others. This is not only your test in life, but every living creature that wants only positive light to be shown to this world. That's what I wrote.
I like it, man. That struck a chord with me. A few things, like one of the stupid things that just popped up is like when you're doing a test or something, it's like trust your gut. Your first instinct is the right one. That's pretty much right in life, whatever it is. And also, like, keep talking, keep getting out there, because you're telling the truth to people. I think that's what that's saying too, is trust yourself, trust that you're doing the right things. You know, you're a good person at heart, so you don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing, because you're not going to do that. That's that system, that process working. You know, it takes some time to create that routine, but it does become that process. And no, I like that a lot. That's really cool. How long did it take you to write that, or did you just run through it?
It's just what was in my mind on that day, and I didn't write a time down. I should probably write times down after the date, but I always, because I never go back to it. I just write for whatever 5 minutes that time is, and I shut the book. That's it. But I have tons of them. That was just one example.
I mean, it looks like you got decent handwriting too. My my writing is hieroglyphics. Like I can't even read it, but it is important for me to write. I do like it.
It's important just to get your thoughts out. I think for us two individuals, we're very creative.
I was gonna say we're creative
beings
yeah.
in different facets.
I still think of like lyrics, and I'm like, I'm not even singing for a band. I've had only very short stints singing for bands, yet I'm out there making songs. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to go on tour. We got a whole notebook.
It's
Probably not any
what is
good.
it? What does it do for you internally? Because again,
It just keeps my mind working. You know, it makes me, appreciate the beauty in life. There's beauty in life everywhere we look, whether it's outside physically or just hearing beautiful music even. Like the idea of creating music, like we all want to be out there on stage. Maybe not. Some people, I think, what is it? The top fear in some people's life is death. Oh, no, it's public speaking. And number 2 is death. It's like public speaking is the number one fear in everyone's life. Like it really is. If you boil it down, people would rather die than do a presentation on stage or to play their instrument on stage. Like if you're here, go play this in front of 1,000 people.
You know what the secret for me is? I just enjoy playing with my friends.
You have friends?
Yeah, ain't that a bitch?
COVID got rid of everyone. Went back to a small circle.
But I was thinking in terms of, again, that was just one example. That I've many others. I wrote actually last night, and I was wanting to bring it up to you on this particular podcast. And
Well, you're gonna have to do it.
I know. I guess not a guess. I will in a second here. But just like that one of trusting your energy, energy is, it plays into the porn thing as well, because you're sacrificing your energy, and that everything's energy. Everything you put out in the world is energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, masturbating or whatever it is, it's all energy. And I think with the porn thing, it's like that. I think that implies some negative energy to it. I wouldn't call it really positive, would you? I mean, not really. No, because it's. I feel like the porn thing's like almost stealing your soul to an extent. It's like bad for the mind. It's literally, statistically, I guess it there's like statistics where it is literally killing you. Watching all that porn, it's literally killing you. I find that very fascinating. And
I wonder if they did something where, like, they say, like, watching a porn clip is like the equivalent of like smoking like 3 cigarettes or something. You know what I mean? Is that what they're trying to get at? Or like what
I believe it.
Or which one's more addictive? Like they should do some brain study. I'm sure they have it, like where they do some type of MRI or CAT scan where they could see what part of the brain is activating and what is like overindulgent. Probably like the medulla oblongata. Like if you're watching porn, you're probably getting a little more aggressive, right? Oh, well, I saw this. Like, I don't know. I think just that thing too opens up. I just feel for the kids, man, because I think the kids have access to this. Like, remember when the iPod video first started coming out in like high school and stuff?
I would have been in middle school, but yes.
Okay, all right, yeah, you're a little young, whatever. But like,
yes,
when you had that and we were downloading stuff on whatever, no one had good stuff on there. We weren't showing each other Iron Maiden videos. No one had good stuff, and now these kids, like, as soon as you're like 4 or 5 years old, you have a phone. You have internet access. That's not good. You think you have a problem or anyone else has a problem? No, these 6-year-olds are in trouble. Let me tell you.
And why is that? Because it gives them a false perception of what real life is, and it's actually not that.
Well, they're not even ready for this crap. Could you imagine seeing? You weren't seeing that at 6.
No, I was watching Spot and Barney.
Your parents were like covering your eyes for a rated R movie or something. Like they were tying you down, making sure you did not see that TV. No. Now it's like, oh, they're gonna see it anyways. That's like crazy to me. Like it's awful.
Not only that, but it's also like, let them distract the kid. That's really what it is. It's distractions.
Ooh, like shiny lights, and I mean, I would have liked it as a kid. I would have been so addicted to that. I was addicted to video games. I still like played baseball and played music. Like I did everything. I couldn't do that again. Like I'm blessed. We live like how we did. We grew up the way we did. Like I don't want to do that over again. And this time, no way.
And it applies exactly to what I mentioned at the start of this episode, which was if I started the band
right
today as compared to then, I'm so glad I started it then. I'm so glad I was blessed with that time period of
which is interesting because like I almost feel the opposite with my old band. Had we started now, we would be able to do the things we weren't able to do back then. Like recording. That was our thing. Like, we deserved to record. We deserved some albums, but we didn't. We didn't market ourselves. We couldn't get all on the same page for a lot of it. And now, I mean, I can record songs and I'm not even in a band or anything. I have a piano that I can do it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you download whatever, Audacity, DaVinci, whatever it is. Like, it's all free now. It used to be so expensive and it would sound like crap if you did it yourself. Now everyone's a producer. Now everyone's an engineer. You don't need these big time producers. I mean, it depends who you are, but like, you can do so much stuff now, and it doesn't matter where you live. Like, people in Tokyo can see your music video. So that's the part where I'd push back maybe a little bit with the bands. But if you're trying to do like live shows, yeah, it might be a little harder now.
And again, with what's going to happen going forward, this AI thing,
Don't like it.
you're not even going to, there's no reason to have a band anymore.
I hate it. I don't even dislike it just for music. I hate it for sports, because now they're trying to tell you like what highlights are important, because the AI is going to take you watch like a baseball game, right? The AI videos it and shows you the highlights and puts it out on your social media and stuff. And I'm like, if I'm the coach, the AI knows more than me? No way. No way does the Terminator know more than me. For baseball, I might know how to like kill people better than me, but not baseball. I know baseball more than a computer. Computers don't play baseball. They add up the stats. That's it. I hate it. But yeah, for music, I don't want these AI beats, just soulless, emotionless songs. There's no creativity.
Well,
Where is the creativity?
Well, wait. To go off of your point, though, this is literally just started. It's only going to get better. So eventually, you're going to have.
Did you see the one? I just saw one today. There's a report that this dad got a call from his daughter saying, "Oh, I'm having an emergency. You need to send me like $1,500." Sends her the money. Turns out it was an AI deepfake. So we don't even know. I don't even know if I'm talking to you right now, Tanner. Don't even know it. Who are you? What are you?
That's a scary thought, though.
But no, that's today.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Good luck, America.
I would say good luck to
Happy
the world.
birthday, America.
I would say the whole world. It's not just us, dude. And where I was going with the whole energy thing is, don't waste it on people that don't deserve it. Like, waste your energy on what you think is important and who is important in your life.
And you need someone real. Think too, that energy, the AI, it's fake. It's not real. Like, I don't know. We're more important than this computer screen.
And obviously, again, the powers that be are going to totally utilize it to fuck us all. So I don't know what's going to happen as far as that goes. But yeah, AI is a scary thing right now. But going off of like what is real and what's tangible, for you, what have you learned just in the past year about either yourself or your goals that you've met, or what have you learned from those that now you can apply on future goals, future endeavors, future relationships? Like, what have you learned?
No, I've learned a lot. I think part of it, I was trying to do so much by myself, but it was hard to. I think everyone has this issue with trusting others because we can do things ourselves, but having that ability to, okay, like, I'm good at this task, this person's good at this, coming together. That's why I really like the podcast. And I had tried doing it kind of on my own for, I never even recorded or anything, but it just needed something else, and I let it prevent myself from doing it. And it's like, you just got to do it. That's all life is. Get over that fear. Just get out there. if you're not good at it at first. But yeah, like knowing that I don't have to do everything on my own, like now when I do a to-do list, I'll have one that says, one side says DJ, and, I'll go, got to go to the store, do this, do that. And then on the other side, I have God, and God does everything else. God, makes the sun go down, makes it go up, takes care of everything else. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about the water turning on or being hot, my car turning on. That happens. There's a lot I don't have to worry about. So that's kind of some of the things I've learned.
I want to get your perspective on this. This is kind of why I brought you here, or asked you to come over and hang out with me, which I do appreciate, obviously.
Anytime, my man.
But I want to read you something. Again, it's another one of these journal entries, poems, poetry, whatever you call it. I don't know. Just words. We're just having a conversation. We're just writing down what's our thoughts on paper, which is extremely beneficial. Spiritually, again, that's probably what's helped, is just getting my thoughts out. Right? So let me read you something, if you don't mind.
Yeah, read.
All right. Whatever comes to mind. There's a blessing in disguise when nobody cares about what you put out to the world. You are not beholden to any of your own creations. Thus you are free. Free to roam, free to explore, and free from the invisible chains that the world would put on you. I want to always be free as to do as I please. I'm not famous to anyone else but me. My whole career is made for an audience of one, and that's really what my career has been, is to satisfy me. And so I can go back and listen to any one of my podcasts, any one of my albums, and just knowing, like I made this and I'm enjoying this. I'm not beholden to only doing this or this or this, because I don't really have I have support. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, I don't have millions of people watching or caring, or I might have a couple, which is great. Not discrediting them either. What I'm saying is I'm not beholden to only doing one thing. It's not a job. So for you, I want to go off of this point too, what are the benefits for you personally? Maybe to do the podcast, let's say it doesn't go anywhere, but you just enjoy it for years and years and years and years. Do you see benefit in having people not care, but also at the same time, just as long as you care? Is there an extreme benefit to this, or is there a detriment?
No, there'd only be a detriment if it created any sort of negativity or cause people to do something that's not what was intended, which wouldn't happen. I think a big thing of the way I live my life now, that maybe I should have answered this with your last question, is it's easier to tear things down than to create. So, for instance, it's easier to say that a business should close its doors because they're doing XYZ, rather than to create that said business. So I really appreciate creators, really, so yeah, like you said, it doesn't matter how many people watch, how many millions watch, but the fact is that we're out there giving something 100% of our effort. There's truly magic in that, and a lot of respect should be placed into people that really try to create something. And I think, especially if you want to consider where this culture is right now with, maybe we're a little bit past it, but I think it still happens, the whole cancel culture crap. That's for weaklings, wussies. People who, all it is they feel better about putting you down instead of bringing themselves up. Does that make sense? So it's that thing I'm saying, is it's easy to tear things down. Easy to say you suck rather than to actually create something.
Well, we live in a victimhood
mentality.
Yes, that's what you're trying to say. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying, and it's totally true. And
it's sadistic. It's horrible.
It's absolutely true. Social media has played a huge part in it. The media, these lizard people.
I mean, there's also stupid people that you're like, why would you post that? Like Ja Morant, I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of these big stars in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He posts an Instagram live thing with like a gun. So, yeah. It's like, what are you doing? You can do that stuff, but don't post it online. I'm not saying to do that stuff, but my goodness, how dumb can you be?
Well, I think
I
think they are paid actors, though. I think the reason why they can still get jobs, still get paid, is by doing that. I think somebody told him
he went to sensitivity training for bringing out a gun in his
give
hotel
me a break.
room.
Give me a break.
He's all better now. And he's like 22 years old, 24 maybe.
Well, and again,
he's a really good player too, but like one of the best in the league. Maybe
right.
not,
And there's always rules for thee, not for me, in all facets and all. I don't know, man. All these, like, even Black Lives Matter was bullshit to me. Like all that shit, it's all bullshit. It's all part of what you're saying is cancel culture. Of it is.
I mean, it starts off with
it's
a great cause, but then people take advantage of it, and then you'll see that they're on to the next trendy thing.
Right. We all know
and
what
then
the
on
next.
to the next.
We all know.
Let's think about a year ago what we were talking about. A year later, it's vastly different, and it's very quick. So I think like with cancel culture, there are no like guardrails. It's a train off the tracks. Like, when do we stop this? Can we stop this? Do people want to stop this? Do people like this? Who likes this? Oh, we got so-and-so today. Like, high fives. Let's go. Do people do that? We got them. Like, no, it does not make the world a better place. Sure, there's some idiots that need to pay for their crimes. And I think we all would admit we would like to see justice, equal justice under the law. The eyes of the law are blind. It doesn't matter.
I would like to see just law and order in general be applied. No, not just for one race of people, not one mentality of people. I'm talking for the whole spectrum. This world would be a much better place if law and order was applied equally. But it's not. And unfortunately, we live in a lawless society right now. And it's fucked up. I get it for people listening in to even hear me say that, but it's true. Go out and look at what the news is feeding you. Go out there and really observe who they're trying to lock up and who is actually a fucking criminal.
Well, also in, I think, like, there's this, like, this, I think it's like this, goodness, I cannot talk. Anyways, so a person from China comes over here and is concerned or saying, like, oh, you watch the news? Like, you know it's all propaganda, right? Because in China, it all is. So when you start thinking of, like, what we're ingesting, even if it's from a network you really like, there's still going to be some sort of agenda or even a clickbait type of style attached to it. So you just have to be very careful, even if you trust the source it comes from.
Well, what about podcasts in general? Now it's becoming, it's not the Wild West anymore. Now everything's like scripted. Everything's paid by fucking all these sponsors. Dude, there are podcasts probably that you don't even, people don't even know that it's all scripted and this, that, and the other. And that's really scary too.
Well, they have teleprompters for that. For like the big ones.
But once they get to that place of, I don't know if I ever could get to that place because I would fuck it up so bad where I couldn't read from a I couldn't be anyone else besides who I am. and those people don't never quote unquote make it, whatever it is to you, whatever you define it as. These millions of people that watch certain shows, even if it's a fucking podcast, chances are that thing is not. It's not like genuine. It's scripted.
You're right, and you kind of just brought up like a point that I was thinking of earlier, of like putting in that energy. Like when you do listen to a podcast or watch something, you know, there's different like levels or obviously different subjects, categories you can listen to. Like, okay, say you listen to like a crime podcast or a murder podcast, or let's listen to a motivational podcast. Do you think there's a difference between listening to that murder podcast and that uplifting, go help your brother type podcast? I kind of think there is. I think there's energy you put in that can kind of affect your thinking.
True, but how much of that thinking is manufactured? How much of that thinking is bought and paid for by big pharma or the government or these sponsors? I mean, how much of that is, because I think the reason why things go to shit is because corporate money gets involved. And I think a lot of podcasts, without people even realizing it, are their corporate money is attached to a lot of these places, dude. It's no different than the mainstream media. It's just you might like this particular talking head, because that's all podcasts are to me. Are just
Yeah, and same with like influencers, like oh, I'm watching this makeup tutorial, and it's like, oh, you're just watching an advertisement, right? Well, but I do like watching it. So it's like they figured out a way to get us interested into watching commercials. We used to always click, oh, commercial, screw that. Now it's like, ooh, I got to pay attention to the commercial. Like, what in God's name happened? What happened? That is the damnedest thing. Does that make any sense? We go out of our way to watch commercials. Commercials suck.
yeah,
They've never been good.
yeah. And again, it's all. I just think that's part of the manufacturing process. The whole.
Well, you know what happened is that our attention spans can only handle commercials. We can't handle the show. We tune out for the show and we watch the commercial. You fast forward the show, watch the commercial. Like, that's where we're at.
It's a scary thought.
That means that there's no thinking, there's no creativity. We just want just a vanilla life. Sounds awful.
Is anything? Is there any organic conversation? Are there any organic conversations anymore? I think those places are the small mom and pop shops, like this podcast, mom and pop shop. I think those are the places that people should be supporting. But then it becomes what point?
I think the majority of people want to hear genuine people. I think most people actually talk that way too, but their conditions or the only things they watch are they don't get that, you know. So I feel like there is a need for that avenue. You know what I'm trying to say?
And and it's again, I don't know how to go about even,
because most people aren't going to be like, you know, oh, there's nothing wrong with this lawlessness. Like, people agree. Like, you can't just sweep it under the rug, no matter what aisle of the political spectrum you're on. Like, I feel like everyone could recognize there's something.
I don't know,
different.
man. There's a huge mental health crisis going on. If you want to
Well, because that's in fashion.
If you want to open that door, we can certainly open that door. But there is an undeniable mental health crisis going on in the world right now. It started with the Me Too movement. It's going to BLM, Antifa, and now this whole trans thing for me is like ridiculous, dude. It's all part of this manufactured fucking victimhood bullshit. rules for thee, not for me kind of thing. And it's the lawlessness comes from that. If you want to really get into it, we can. I was hoping we could just do it on your podcast, but we'll do it here too.
No, I think where it actually started was the whole anti-bullying thing. So stay with me on this for a second, because what I believe is that, okay, Tanner just bullied me. All right, so now the entire school has to let Tanner know that he bullied DJ. So you have, instead of one bully, you have 200 bullies. So anyone that bullies someone needs to be bullied about how they bullied someone. And that's the culture we created with these kids. That's where I think this started.
Interesting.
Because now everyone's going to tell you how you're wrong for thinking that way. And now I got to let so-and-so know that you're also wrong. And they're going to tell their friends how you were wrong. Everyone tells you how, you got to have 10 people tell you how you're wrong.
And these same people hide behind either their sexual orientation, their race, their this, not just like being a human being anymore. It's all about the victimhood mentality, propagandized bullshit. They don't tell you the bad stuff, though. They only tell you it's okay to be this, that, and the other. But then all these other problems come with that. Like, they don't tell you the whole... I should say it here. I should just get canceled. Why not? You know, the whole trans thing, there's other parts that go with that. Like, dude, you're literally sacrificing yourself to Big Pharma to be on their medications the rest of your life, painkillers the rest of your life. All this shit's coming out now, and it's like nobody's talking about that. It's just go ahead and cut and mutilate yourself, you know, to where you're never going to be the same again permanently. Now you're beholden to all the drug companies. They don't ever tell you about that. That's where I think a lot of this is coming from, and it's a grift. It's only going to happen at this particular juncture, moment in time. What's going to be next?
That's what I'm saying. Look into the future. That's what I was saying. Like, look what happened a year ago. But yeah, like the government's just parents for adults. That's all it is. And that's those types of people you just explained. They need parents. They can't do it themselves. They need someone to make their decisions for them. They can't do it. It's too hard. It's too hard. But, you know, I actually had a really funny conversation recently. But I think it's really true. I'm not trying to be derogatory in any way. But, like, you know, let's say there's a couple people at the table, right? Me, you, and someone else. Let's say, you know, I got a foot fetish. You got a hand fetish or something. You like to put your hands in peanut butter or something. And then our third friend is gay.
Okay.
Me and you, just, the point is that person is somehow, we're going to know that they're gay. They're never going to know that I got a foot fetish. They're not going to know you got a peanut butter hand fetish. But we're somehow going to know, like, that person's going to let us know that they're gay. Not that we care. We don't, but like, why is that sexual part has to be so present? I don't understand that. But
yeah, I don't either.
Do you follow what I'm trying to say, though? But it's like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like,
I don't either, because the thing is they have to make it known. It's like,
it's like an extra thing on the pedestal. Like, oh,
it's part of that victimhood mentality, and it's a part of the mental health issues that we have. Just like, again, the trans things like that too, man. Remember, like 10, 15 years ago, it was the gay thing. Like, gays got to be married. That was great. And now it morphed into this whole...
Bush ran on a platform of, I am not going to allow gay marriage. Like, we have totally transformed from... I'm not saying he was right by any means, but, like, it's just interesting of when to give that inch. Once you give that inch, then we got to go that next mile. That next mile is going to take us to Jupiter.
Yeah. Well, the next thing, I mean, I don't even know if I want to say it on this fucking show. I probably just pissed off. I just probably pissed off everybody else. This whole trans thing's going to lead to something. It's going to lead to something I don't even want to discuss on here because it's so gross. But I think everybody else that's listening in probably knows where I'm going with that. So there's probably no point in even saying this. I really feel like it's gonna lead to like this either bestiality thing or pedophilia, like normalized pedophilia, and that's horseshit to me. That's fucking just absolutely disgusting. And
You think like we'll be watching TV and you're gonna see some. I mean, they show some stuff that I'm like, wow, I'm sure some kids are seeing this, like the RuPaul's Drag Race thing, like when they do commercials. And I was watching South Park, and then boom, this is right in my face. Okay, well that's fine, you can have that, but like, I didn't sign up for that. My future kids aren't signing up for that. They're about to.
And then the whole thing is if you don't comply, then you're
I'm a
piece
bigot.
of shit. Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
Call me
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
you can call me
That's
a
why,
transphobe.
it's important to be true to who you are. You
Yeah,
gotta have morals.
yeah,
You gotta know who you are. Know you're a good person.
and
You're not a bad person for having opinions about like. You're not saying you're gonna hurt someone for being like that. Are
no,
you?
I don't want to
Okay.
be around them.
That's fine.
It doesn't mean again, you can call me transphobe. You can call me a bigot. Whatever.
Only
it
behind
is,
your back.
A
I
racist.
want to do it to your face.
Yeah,
'Cause, you know.
You can call me
that's-
any of that. That's fine. That's your business, dude. Like it's none of my business what you people think of me.
What do you mean, you people?
I'm talking about.
I'm
I don't
messing
even.
with you.
I don't even have to explain what you people is. I think those people know who they are. You know, it's none of my fucking business. I love the fact that I can just come on here and spew whatever I want to spew on because it's my platform. I built my own platform, just like you built your own platform, right?
Yeah, I appreciate things being built, man. It's easy to tear them down.
And I'm not going to be afraid anymore of people trying to tear it down.
Don't be.
I think that people need to start speaking up, dude. That's where it starts is people speaking up. And
I
look,
think you're right.
I'm not
You are
saying
right.
I'm not saying that like all trannies are the same. I'm sure they're not. But what I've come across,
There's some good ones.
I don't know if I've probably met a couple of
The
them.
Kardashian guy, what's his name? The Bruce Jenner.
Kim.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of Chloe.
Yeah, that one
no.
too. Yeah, dude, the whole
And that guy ran for governor.
You know what's
Do you
funny?
remember that?
Do you remember when this happened? This will show you the line of total hypocrisy that this community has. Do you remember when Bruce Jenner transformed into Caitlyn Jenner? Got on Vogue.
I
Vogue,
do.
Wait, Vogue magazine.
Woman of the Year.
Woman of the Year. Then, like a year or two later, she came out as a Donald Trump supporter and was blasted by her own community.
Got canceled
Dude,
faster than.
if that doesn't show you or tell you that this thing is all a grift and it's all a propagandized fucking machine, I don't know how to help you. I don't know if you can be helped. If I get it, most of these people are they forget things really easily. But I don't think that I have to accept everybody as if you're trying to harm children. I don't think I have to accept your thinking, your
No, I mean,
mentality.
if you have a kid, right, and they want to spend the night at Billy's house, do you have to meet the parents?
Yes.
Or do you got a little girl, right? You got a 6-year-old girl. You let her, just go over there.
No.
Like even if the person was like, I mean, I would even, like if you're all tatted up and blah, 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 like looking like a really gnarly, even metalhead or something, I have the right to say, nope, that's not who I want. Oh, you're playing just crazy music inside really loud. I got a 5-year-old daughter. I think we're done here, folks. That's okay. Protect your children. That's okay. They're your children. It's your life. It's okay. Yeah, we live Like, we're all connected. We live in a community. We all kind of, in a way, depend on each other. But at the end of the day, it's your life. You got to do what's right for you and not give a crap about what anyone else thinks or does or says, because everyone's going to tell you how you're wrong. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. They're never going to tell you when you're doing anything good. They don't care. They don't want you to do good. They want you to do bad so that you need them to make, you feel better.
And
they want to be needed. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all this crap is. If you feel bad for me, I have control over you.
And I've lost a lot of people in my life with having that mentality, and I'm totally fine with it.
You're in a better spot for it.
I'm in a better position.
You don't have them eating away at you like little leeches, sucking your blood.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
Yeah.
It's what they want to do. It's
Yeah.
how they live. They'll find someone else. You'll realize those parasites, they'll find someone else and be just as happy. They don't care about you, and you don't want that. You want real people who are going to say it how it is.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be afraid to be myself. Dude, I literally just spilled my guts out to you, to everybody else listening in. It's the total truth. I don't think that we're going the right way in our society right now. I just don't. I don't buy into the whole propagandized fucking machine. And by the way, I'm not suicidal. Thank you. So, again, like the fact that I even have to say that is asinine. You know what I mean?
People thinking that?
Yeah. I don't, yeah, because I'm not going to be in the news saying that I committed suicide.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, because they were all your... right, I
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
I read you.
So, because I have a difference of opinion, and this is America. Last time I checked.
It's America.
Yeah,
America.
it is. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. This is the land of the free. And
only place that's got a
Dude,
waiting line.
remember
A wait for it.
Remember this? Remember when everybody was for Ukrainians? Remember that you saw not even tons of flags. I saw a couple of Ukrainian flags
Well,
on their car and shit. I don't see any of that.
It's all the fear of missing
Dude,
out. It's whatever's trendy.
It's all
It's all about posting. Like, remember that you would post that blank black square on Instagram, and now you're a social justice warrior. It's all crap, dude. It's all crap.
I lost a lot of people who did that. I was like, nope, that's the last straw. That's
People reveal like who they really are when it actually matters, and you should feel like happy they do that. Like COVID revealed a lot.
Yeah, and
it exposed a lot of people. Like social media exposed a lot of people.
And that maybe has played into a part. Again, going to what do you mean by spiritually? That's brought me back into this finding who I am, of saying, oh, yeah, I don't want to associate myself with you or you. You might be a good musician or a good actor, but I don't want anything to do with you guys. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you got to be like a good person.
Because
like
I'm not for a team. I don't have the team mentality. I have a moral mentality. Like, so if you're dedicated to your team, your morals go out your window. Like, name me who's the baseball player that beat up his wife? I'm sure there's tons of them.
That was Trevor Bauer. Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
He's in Japan now.
Okay, well, what team did he play for?
The Dodgers.
Okay, well, I'm sure he's not the only one. I'm sure there's many others. I don't know. I don't follow baseball, but I do know that at a time, there was a time when somebody beat up one of their wives or whatever, and it was justified by the people who loved that team. Yet, if another teammate of a team that you didn't like did that same thing, it's not okay. That doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was
allegedly. Of course.
I think Jerry Seinfeld said it best. He said that like sports fans, essentially, you're just rooting for clothing. That's all it is, because the players come and go, and all you care about is that team at the end of the day. I think you might be thinking of Ray Rice. I think he was the football guy, and he punched the heck out of his fiance in the elevator. Like, it was really, really, really bad. And I think people are trying to justify, like, oh, well, we don't know, like, what she said to him. It's like, this dude's like 250 pounds, running back, just dropped her. I think he grabbed her by her hair. I don't think he ended up doing any jail time, but they're like, yeah, you just can't play football anymore.
Well,
Like,
and you're right. We don't know what happened with that specific circumstance. But if you're in a relationship like that, like, get out of it.
well, as the chick, I guess he's got a lot of money.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm saying for the dude. If you're in a position that's like that, where it's very abusive, like, get out of the relationship. It's easier said than done, for sure. I'm just merely saying it's not probably worth it, and it probably doesn't represent who you really are.
To lose your career at like 30 years old because you're some monster and have to beat up your girl, like that's in public, on camera, like that's, I don't know.
And I think actions always speak louder than words, right? So even us having a conversation about what we just discussed a little bit ago with the whole trans thing, it's like,
Well, you know,
these are just how.
well, I think we got to say something real quick too about where we're going now with this, the trans, whatever you want to call it. What they're doing now is saying that people that are trans or whatever, they now should have a disability rights or whatever. Like I can't even get through saying, because I have a brother with autism. These people are trying to say like they have
More rights than me and you.
not only that, but they want SSI money. They're doing this for money, and it's got to stop. And I take this very, very personally because my brother's he's had a tough life. He's a really good dude, but you know what? He's had to fight and claw for even just having a life. He's lucky he's not even in an institution. He's very lucky to be where he is, and these people are taking advantage of the system, and it's a sadistic side of the culture that if it's not addressed soon, we're going to have an unrecognizable life. Not even a country, like we're going to have an unrecognizable life. And it starts, this is it, man. Not calling for a revolution, but we need to start talking about what is actually going on, get rid of political biases, talk about the facts, and start at least addressing what's out there.
Well, it starts with a conversation. Always does. It's dude, the fact that me and you are even talking about this, I get it. It's really hard. It's really hard for me.
Yeah, no, I get
You
it.
can tell, right?
No, for
and
sure.
I can tell with you.
Yeah, it's
But it's necessary. I've sat back way too long
Same.
in the background watching all this shit play out, and me being afraid to even post on social media. Like I'm done with it.
same.
I'm
yeah,
done.
That's why I'm so happy to have.
I don't want
Have-
friends
have-
like that.
No, I'm so happy to have the metal podcast now, which it's really needed. It's a nuanced take from a metal perspective, and it's a conversation that really needs to be out there. Whether anyone listens or not, it just needs to be out there. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll.
Yeah, and I think,
You
but
know.
to go off of your point here is, you said something earlier where people know that you have a good heart. Like, I don't have to explain my reasonings for what I said earlier because people know that I'm coming from a good place. I'm thinking of individuals who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah, they can't.
You know, these little people, meaning children, who are at the mercy of people that will take advantage of them, and that's not cool. It's not right. As soon as you start involving kids, you've lost me. You've lost the plot to me, and because I never had a so-called career in people's opinions that was worth a shit. To me, it's fucking awesome that I have a career and I've done cool stuff. But I'm not sacrificing losing anything over even this conversation right now. I'm proud to get the ball rolling and at least talk about these things that people are afraid to discuss, you know, and we sat in the background far too long to let it get to this place.
I think I won't speak for you, but for me, I've definitely lost some sleep over this, and now I'm starting to sleep a little better. You know, it's kind of how it works. You kind of got to get out there, and we're ready.
The truth will always set you free here.
Not your truth or my truth. The truth.
Yes.
There's one truth.
There's
no
one.
version. There's no different variations.
Yeah.
Sure, there could be two sides of a story, but there's one truth.
Yes.
There could be two perspectives. There's one and only truth. Well, that's your truth. It boils me.
But I will kind of end on a positive note.
Let's do it.
I think it's actually getting better. I really do feel like there's an energy in this world that's standing up for itself now.
Yeah.
You're starting to have people such as us too.
There's enough people starting to get fed up.
Yeah, there's enough. Exactly. There's enough people. And I think that is slowly getting the ball rolling. And there's going to be more and more people that come out and say, hey, dude, like.
We're going to need everyone.
Yeah.
We're going to need people.
And I get it. We may disagree on things. That's fine. But the moment that you start.
I'm going to let you talk here. Oh, look, like if you don't agree with me, that's fine, but I still want to hear the point.
The
We're
moment,
not going to argue over each other.
The moment that you say it's okay to harm a child, like you're a piece of shit. I'm not sorry for saying it. The moment that
a kid can't make up their mind, especially before the age of 18, to do something. They can't even get a tattoo before they're 18. Okay,
a piercing.
Let alone
to mutilate themselves. What I can't even. It's hard for me to even say the words. To mutilate genital mutilation.
Genital mutilation, yeah.
Yeah, it is permanent,
it's
dude.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it really is, and we have a mental health crisis. It's just that's the truth. Whether people want to agree with it or not, the truth is hard sometimes. I get it.
Well, we got like a medical problem too, because I think it was like 10, 15 years ago where they really expanded, especially the autism spectrum. So literally every person like, oh, I'm autistic now. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You don't speak with a device. You know what I mean? Like people are like, they're looking for ways to invalidate their existence so they could be like, you know what? I don't have to be successful or do anything with my life because look at the cards I was dealt. And that's where you get this victimhood mentality. You get all these mental illnesses coming into fashion because they think that's what's going to propel them upwards. It's the weirdest thing, and it prevents them from doing anything with their lives. And that's where that purpose and meaning come.
It gives them, it's like they have to be part of a team. Do you know what I mean? This is like now a team, and this is going to go away. Do these people not realize that everything is come and gone? This is just another step.
And people are sick of it, dude.
When
the trans thing gets into that they want a disabled handicap parking spot, you're gonna see them. What do you got? Oh well, I'm a guy and I got tits down to my knees. I need a parking spot in the handicap place. That ain't gonna go over too well, people. I hate to break it to you. Good luck.
Well,
was that the uplifting part?
No. And I just lost my train of thought as to what I was gonna say. It's fuck. I can't remember.
I don't think we're gonna they're gonna try to push it another mile down, but we all got to be on board. We're not on board for this. We are not. There's enough people that are not gonna. This stuff's not gonna fly. You can have it up to this point, but this is it. This is the red line.
It should have never even gotten up to this point.
No, it shouldn't have.
And I feel really bad for these casualties of war because we are definitely in an informational war right now. I don't think people
even say we're in a spiritual war. We're in a culture war. We're in every type of
the Waco thing.
War is my shepherd.
Wait. The Waco thing was another
with the
war.
Branch Davidians.
Wait. Let me speak real quick. The Waco thing was another form of war, but because it made the government look so fucking awful, that the pieces of shit that they are, we're now in this. We're still in that same war. It's just now it's all spiritual. It's all digital now. It's not actually killing people. It's killing them internally rather than having blowing people up. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's a.
Well, yeah. We always think of World War III through the prism of the past. You know what I mean? We think of atom bombs and the nukes. That's not how World War III is fought. And we're in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like what you explained. Like that's the type of warfare they're using, or even, you know, some biological warfare too. That can happen too. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a global pandemic that shuts the world down, but if that were to happen, I would be a little concerned. If that were to happen, where we shut down for 3 or 4 years, but how could that happen? That's never happened.
Well, and this was just like a little test to what is actually coming down the pipe, and we got to be ready. You know, we got to be ready to. It's either we have freedom, or we're locked into our homes and
Live free or die trying.
Yeah, and I get it. It's scary. You have to be able to sacrifice something for the greater good, not just for humankind, but yourself. Like who are you?
You can't
really?
help anyone until you can help yourself. You
Yeah.
can't be happy until you're happy with yourself. That's like you can't have a boyfriend or girlfriend until you enjoy your own company. If you can't be happy with yourself, you can't add someone that make you happy.
Right. And I think going off of what I was saying earlier, I just remembered what I was going to say. I think when people started to see images of the drag shows, like to kids, that's those are fighting words, man. That's like that was.
Well, that's,
I think a huge fat asset.
I guess
into,
that's where they finally realized. But all those like rallies and stuff, they've been doing this for a long time, having kids brought it, and they'll be like, look at the kid, like, oh, the kids like it, look at them dance, and you're like, this is not right. But at least at some point people realize it's not right. But my goodness, like the lengths, like the tracks we got to take to realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe we took this too far. Like, who wanted this in the first place? No one wanted this.
Well, no legit human being wanted this. You know, we make up 90% of the world when it comes to, like, you know, actually critical thinking human beings. These elite lizard people, I don't know how much they make up. Maybe 1%.
Well, I don't know about that.
You think they make up more than that?
Lizard people? Like, the idea of the lizard people. See, I have like this uncle who's like the dumbest person ever, and he believes in lizard people. And he like,
why is he dumb?
why is he dumb?
I'm legitimately asking. So, like, I get you might not agree with it. That's fine. But how is he dumb for having that
He's the type
thought?
of person that if he were to tell me that this table was black, I would say, you're wrong. This is not a good person.
Oh, okay. But he might be right. Again, a broken clock is right twice a day. So
Right, but then you're wrong very often.
yes. You get what I'm coming from, though.
Yeah,
I don't know, man, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
'cause-
if you told me,
if you brought out a lizard person and showed me.
wait, if you told me that 10 years ago, yeah, there's this island where literally pedos roam free and there's kids everywhere, I would have said you're full of shit. But now we know that exists. So that really opened the door to, like,
Yeah, but now
every-
you're talking about like aliens or something.
again, I lay out everything is a possibility on the table here.
I haven't looked into that one.
I'm just saying.
Only
people-
my nutty uncle's the only other person I've heard talk about lizard people living in like the sewers in L.A.
Oh no,
or
I'm
Long
not
Beach.
that.
Like that's what he talks
Well,
about.
I'm not.
And that
talking-
there's like hundreds of different species of these lizard people. I'm like, okay,
That's an interesting concept. I'll have to explore
yeah,
that.
you should talk to him. If I was on talking terms with him, I'd let you guys talk to him. But I do not like him.
That's fine. That's not where I was going. I didn't mean to get you all riled up here.
No, that's all good.
I was merely emphasizing the point of possibility. Anything's possible.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But I wouldn't let that prevent me from doing something. Because if
No,
you're
no,
like,
no,
the
no.
lizard people are controlling everything, well, that shouldn't prevent you from being a good person. That's
yeah.
kind of my point.
Well, that's how you
exist. Sure.
That's how you combat their bullshit is by being a good person.
But most people that think that will be like, well, the lizard people, well, then then doesn't matter if I'm a POS or not, because then they'll feel like, the same people that are chasing the JFK conspiracy. A lot of people chase those conspiracies to so that they can
validate something.
Yeah, validate the reason why everything's so messed up. See, like, you know what I mean?
But a lot of those conspiracies turn out to be true. Like, there are aliens. They literally released UFO footage and nobody gave a shit. And this was during the whole BLM peaceful protests.
Yeah, they do like that stuff all the time where
they
try to
give
get
you little nuggets.
And they try to do it to either have you focus on it to prevent you from seeing something else. They did that with Ebola. Yeah,
remember?
They do that all the time, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's not true or it is true, but there's reasons why those things are out there.
You make a good point. And again, I feel it's only getting better. I think people.
I agree.
It's not like if you asked me 2 or 3 years ago when the pandemic started, and I would have said this is we're in a world of hurt because nobody is caring. Now that everybody knows that they got lied to, that really has opened the door of, oh no, you're still lying to us. Now we're taking a stand, slowly but surely. I can't wait to see what happens.
Even the people
next.
that got vaccinated 5 times and they got COVID recently, and they're like, I didn't know I could get COVID because I got vaccinated 5 times. Like, people didn't know that. Like, and they, like, you've been lied to, and people are sick of it. It doesn't matter what you believed, you were getting lied to.
And what should have really kind of opened everybody's mind is to why are these scientists getting canceled, but these guys that are paid by Big Pharma, they're allowed to say whatever they want, and that's how, like, you have places like Rumble and that's came out of this
Good
censorship program that big tech was doing. They had control of the whole narrative, and now they're losing that control. So it's really fascinating to see where we're at as a society. And
well, the Bud Light thing didn't work. That's a big one. I think that's a big one too, because that was their way to show in front of our faces and be like, this is where we're going next. And we didn't want it. We said no. We didn't like the product to begin with, but to have that as the marketable action, nope, that's not where this country's not. It's not ready for that yet. I hope it's never is. But that was a huge debacle.
Yeah, but we'll go off of that point too. Their stocks went down, but now they're way back. They're back up again. So that didn't really affect their product sales because Anheuser-Busch owns like 20 million other products. They own Modelo, Pacifico. They own all that. They own all that kind of beer. They own Stella. They own, like, you literally can only drink anything Coors makes because that's how you defeat them. Yeah, I love Coors. Now I do.
They're probably gonna get screwed up too.
When I drink or whatever.
Bud is crud. It's always been crud.
But I'm saying, so Blue Moon is part of the Coors thing. Miller.
Or you're saying Bud Light?
No, I'm talking about Coors, the Coors company. These are the things that they own. So if people wanted to actually combat their bullshit by not buying the products, those are kind of the beers you have to support. But again, and then the government gives them grants of millions of dollars from our taxpayer money to have this. Is it called SDI or ESP, whatever the fuck it is, to have?
Is it ESG?
Whatever it is, yes, you're probably right.
There's DEI.
You're probably right.
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yes,
is that one?
Yes, like you need to meet these requirements so that you can get this passing grade or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, they do
incentivize that. It's all bullshit, dude. So yeah, it didn't work. If nobody's buying,
but they're gonna try it again with something
else. Of course. But I'm saying
I'm agreeing with you that
they'll bail them out.
Yeah. Well, but enough of us we're not gonna go along with this.
I hope
We're not.
I think we're right. I think
We are right.
Yes.
As in correct.
yes, we are correct, and thank goodness. And I think that's
Thank goodness
That's-
for us, man.
I know.
God, we're so great. I'm proud of us.
it's about time we start giving us a little bit of credit ourselves and all you guys watching. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of just I don't know us having
What
a
happened?
conversation. No, I think this was good.
I had fun. No, thank you for having me on, man. It's been too long. We gotta do this again soon, very soon. Have you come on as well? That'll be really fun to have you on the Metal Podcast, dude.
Right. Well, let's again. I'm glad we got to have a conversation. So when before we get off of here, I'm gonna give you the floor as to promote the podcast that you have coming up and how did you actually get the ball rolling on this finally?
All it started with was a phone call. Phone call led to another phone call, and then an idea turned into another idea, and then this idea came up. I wasn't even thinking of it, but we realized kind of how this conversation went, that there's something wrong with the information, the world we're living in, something, there's like, let's talk about it. So we're doing the Metal Podcast. It's a metal show from a music show from a metal perspective, giving a nuanced take. We talk about the culture, but a lot of music, some new releases. We just talked about the Metallica album that just came out. So we like to mix it up. It's a refreshing conversation, I have to say. So definitely look out for that. You can check it out. It's called the Metal Podcast. We're on SoundCloud, Apple. I think last time I said we're on Spotify and we're not, so maybe I'll clear that up here. I make a lot of mistakes, but you know what? I can clear them up.
It certainly is a good thing. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. I'm honored and stoked to be a part of that. In
Well,
my
we
own,
are too. We hope you can take a bigger role with us, man. We want you a part. We're excited.
I appreciate it. I was merely saying just to be in this circle, this community that metal does not have anymore. Dude, again, I could have done a whole episode on this of just there's not a metal community. There are these cliques in metal, which is really
Well, now it's up to us.
Yeah, it's up to us to build the community, an actual community,
Make metal fun again.
and really get rid of the gatekeeping. Get rid of the gatekeeping
That's a big part
bans
about
and
our show too. Is
oh, dude, I'm gonna have a
the
lot of fun.
gatekeeper. Yeah, you'll like that. It's a thing.
Oh yeah, I
Big time.
seen it firsthand. So
Oh, I'd love to get that take.
yeah,
get you
dude, we'll do it to it. But DJ, I want to thank you for coming on again and hanging. I truly do appreciate.
Man, a pleasure.
I do appreciate
Anytime.
our
I loved it.
friendship.
Had a great time.
And I hope I didn't scare you off, but I'm just very
still here.
passionate about.
No,
again,
I value our friendship,
when
man.
you bring in certain aspects, it's over. I just can't get behind it. So again,
Love it, man.
So-
Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate you. But for another episode of Poppitt's Corner, guys, make sure to go check out the Metal Podcast on SoundCloud and Apple, and maybe are you on like an Odyssey or BitChute or
We've got an Instagram, Facebook, and a LinkedIn.
okay? Are you on Rumble? Right?
Not yet. YouTube.
Okay.
Did I mention YouTube? Yeah, YouTube's like the main one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should have mentioned that first, but it's all right.
Didn't know that. Yeah, well, spread yourself out to as many platforms as possible, because you don't want YouTube to shut you down.
Good
and you got
idea. Oh,
nothing.
gosh.
And you got nothing. But
Not
anyway,
YouTube.
another episode of Poppitt's Corner, guys. We're out of here. Cheers.